If you're going to build an epic life-size wooden Thor hammer and make a video about it, you have to include the obligatory hammer flying into the hand scene. Now, I don't have the skills, the knowledge, or the software to do any kind of animation or CGI, so I had to go old school. Now, my original and only idea I had before I built the hammer of how I was going to do that scene, I was thinking I could hold it and throw it and then roll that in reverse and it would look like it was coming into my hand. And I have actually filmed a sequence of that using my smaller mallet. So you can see here, it kind of works out okay. It doesn't look too bad. But the method used for the final scene in the video gives a much better result in my opinion. And as you can imagine, once I'd built the hammer and felt the bulk and the weight of it, throwing it just wasn't an option. I'd have to have someone over there trying to catch it, which I didn't think was a good idea. And the other part was that there was a possibility that it would drop on the ground and get damaged, and there's no way I wanted that. So I had to come up with something else. I could have had someone just off to the side of camera throw the hammer at me and me catch it. But again, there's too many things that can go wrong. And then I just had a light bulb moment. And that is what I'm looking at right now. That camera boom that's holding up my camera, it's attached to a beam trolley that runs between two RSJs in the middle of my workshop. And I thought to myself, that is the perfect rigging to make this happen. And this is my homemade beam trolley that supports my camera boom. So what I did was I extended out from the main beam of the trolley with that 2-inch square aluminium tube, and I brought it out as far as the back of the workbench. So you can see there that kind of lines up with the back of the workbench where I'd be standing. And it was a little too high, so I just added this other piece here, and that drops it down to a comfortable height where I can grab the hammer with my hand. On the bottom of that, you'll see that square metal plate. And that square metal plate is where the hammer will stick to with the magnets. In the final video, you saw me glue on this cap, but as soon as I glued it on, I removed it and removed the glue because I knew that I'd have to get to the top of the hammer to install some magnets. So it was basically replaced with double-sided tape for filming. So as you can see here, I added 5 rare earth magnets, and these things are super strong. And as you'll see here, that's a really tight hold. It's so strong, there's no way you can pull the hammer directly off. But if you push it to the side, it comes off so easily. And you'll notice I've also got a string attached to the middle of the beam trolley, and that was for my lovely assistant to pull the beam trolley towards me when I signaled with putting my arm up in the air. And this is what it looked like. Pretty simple, actually. And here it is from my perspective, and it just came off so easily. And this is how that scene looks unedited. So let's take it into the computer. Okay, so here we are in my very fancy editing studio, which is basically just iMovie. I've got a few clips and audio clips already inserted in there. And basically I've already edited this scene, but it is very simple editing. So I'll basically just show you what I did. Up here, we've got the original clip, and if I just run through that, you'll see it there. This is unedited, so it's got all the background noise and the noise of the trolley, so I'll just run that quickly for you. And you can hear the sound of the trolley. It's very noisy. Now if I stop that there, you'll also notice that up the top here, you can just see the metal plate where the hammer was stuck to with the magnets. So first thing I did was I came down when I brought the clip into the timeline. First thing I did was I went into there and I hit the crop tool, and you can see there I've just cropped that scene ever so slightly just to get rid of that metal plate so that you can't see that, but you can still see basically the whole hammerhead. So that was the first thing I did. And then the next thing to do was to make the hammer look like it was flying. If we go back to here, in normal speed, it's pretty slow. We'll start from there. In normal speed, it's just pretty slow. as you can see there. So what I did was when I brought the clip down into the timeline, I split it right where the hammer part is moving. So if we come to here, you can see here I've just as my arm goes in the air, I split the clip right there. And then this part of the clip here is the hammer moving, and then as soon as the hammer touches my hand, I split the clip again, and then that's the rest of the movement there. And what I did was just this section here, this little section here, if I go up to, you'll see here that has been sped up 240%, which means it's basically almost 2.5 times normal speed. This clip here and this clip here are left at normal speed so that my actions look normal, and just the hammer is, because it's sped up, it actually looks like it's flying. So we'll just run it from here roughly, and you'll see what I mean. So my actions are normal, flying hammer, normal again. Now the other thing I had to do was, as you heard up here, the background noises and the noise of the trolley are very loud, and obviously you don't want those. So for this clip here, just that bit there, I actually deleted or muted the sound of that video clip and inserted the sound clip of the Mjolnir sound effect, which is basically this up here. And if you look up here, I don't know where you can see it, you'll see a peak right there. That peak is the actual impact sound in that sound clip, and down on the bottom here you'll see it, that is it there. So if I just play it a little bit, you'll hear that impact sound when it goes through there. That's it. So really all I had to do was line up that point of impact in the sound clip with the point of impact in my video clip. So if you look there, I'm just toggling back and forward, you see there. So right there is where it hits my hand, and that is lined up exactly with the impact point in the sound clip. And basically when you run them together, it works. Perfect. Okay, I cut that particular clip about there, because if you look here, if I had to let it go any further, let's put it there, if I had to let go any further, you eventually see the magnets on the top of the hammer, so you don't want that. So I decided to cut it right about there, and then come in with a second scene. And if I stop that there, you'll notice that I've taken the magnets off the hammer and replaced the cap. Now, for me, I think that sometimes the best way to disguise, or not so much disguise, but to transition a cut in a video clip is to come in from a completely different angle. So this clip here was filmed a little bit later, and here's the raw clip of that. And if you look here, there's basically just me. I'll run that. Basically me just practicing that action. Let me get it there. Hang on. About here. Let's play that. So I'm basically just practicing here, receiving the hammer. And that's it. That's as much as of the clip that I used. And then what to do with that was this clip here. I cut that clip. I cut that clip basically right at the point where I'm about to put my second hand on the handle there. And then if we skip to the beginning of the next clip, I start it right where I'm about to put my hand on the handle. So that makes the transition pretty much seamless if you watch that. And that's it. And that's all there is to it. There's no complicated or magic editing. Just a couple of simple steps, and I think the effect came out really good just with those few steps.